Hello, guys. Thank you for joining this live today. We'll just wait a few more minutes to give everyone a chance to join. Nice to see you all. Tell me how you're doing today. How are you feeling today? Let me know in the comments. My name is Lizzie, and I am going to be taking this live lesson today. The topic we're going to be discussing is British slang, as you can see here. So yeah, I'm excited to teach you all some British slang words, some British slang phrases. Maybe in the comments just now you can tell me which country you are from or which country you're living in at the moment. Let's see where we've got. We have Sri Lanka, hello. Malawi, South Korea. Hi, Harry. Hi, Edward. Another from Sri Lanka. Oh, a few from Sri Lanka today. Nice. Romania, India. And maybe you can also tell me how is the weather today. So here it's really sunny, but it is actually quite cold. It really feels like winter now. I don't know what it's like in your country. I don't know if you're from a country where it gets really cold. But here it's pretty cold now. But sunny at least. Hello, Raphael. Monterey. Okay. Cool. Bangladesh. Lots of different places. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about British slang today. And I'm quite excited about this lesson because for me, as a native English speaker, I use British slang all the time. I use slang words all the time when I am talking to my friends, when I'm talking to family. Even when I'm teaching lessons, I will use slang when I'm talking to my students. And native speakers often use slang words. Some people might think that it's not important to learn slang, but for me, I feel like it is quite important, especially if you plan to communicate with speakers from a particular country, if you plan to move to an English speaking country or travel to an English speaking country, you will probably come across some slang words, some slang phrases. So it's very useful and helpful to know what some of these are, to know the meaning of some of them. Now, obviously, slang is different depending on which country. So, British slang and American slang are not always the same. There are some British slang words that you do not use in American English, and same for lots of other countries, okay? So, different slang words in Australia, different slang words in New Zealand, different slang words in Canada, and so on. So, and also, depending on like the city or region, sometimes there are also different slang words and phrases. So, for example, in some parts of the UK or some parts of England, there are some slang phrases that are not used in other parts. So, it's very interesting. And obviously, in today's lesson, it's not possible to teach you all of British slang phrases and words, but what I've done is I am going to teach you some of my favorite and some of the most commonly used British slang phrases. This lesson will be available to watch again after the live session is over. So if you miss some of this lesson, if you join late, if you have to leave, or if you just want to watch it again, don't worry. It's all going to be available to watch again. I'm going to give you a chance to also ask some questions at the end. So don't worry if I'm not answering your questions throughout the live. I'll try and answer some at the end of the lesson. Okay, so let's get started. So I have 10 different British slang words, phrases that we're going to look at today. I wonder if any of these you already know. I wonder if these are all new for you. I'm hoping at least some of them are new for you so you can learn something new today. If you already know some of them, that's great. So let's have a little look. The first one we're going to look at today is this one, knackered. Knackered, okay? Now, knackered can have a couple of different meanings. Does anybody know what knackered can mean? And I'm going to give you an example sentence, which might give you a little clue. But first of all, I'm going to see if any of you already know what knackered means. And as I said, it can have more than one meaning. So if I give you some example sentences, let's see if you can guess the meaning, okay? So the first example sentence, I'll hide that one so that you don't get, there's not too much information at once. Oh, here we go. I'm always so knackered after work, okay? I'm always so knackered after work. In this sentence, what could knackered mean? Good. Some of you have got it already. Well done. Tired, okay? Knackered means tired or very tired. Okay, and the other way we can use knackered is this one. My car is knackered at the moment. My car is knackered at the moment. Here, it doesn't mean tired. A car can't feel tired. So what could it mean in this example? Yeah, Harry, you've got it very fast. Well done. Yeah, lots of you have got it. Not working, doesn't work, not in good condition, old. Okay, it means broken or old. It can mean broken or too old to use anymore. Okay, so the two meanings of knackered, we've got very tired or broken. Okay, broken, not working. Or in bad condition. Yeah, well done, guys. So now can some of you make an example sentence with knackered? So you can choose, you can do an example sentence for both meanings or choose one of the meanings. But if you just write some example sentences in the comments, I'll have a little look, okay? So try to write an example sentence with knackered. I've got these ones here for you. I'll hold it up so you can see these to get some inspiration. You can't see my face when I do that. Let's see. So we've got one meaning of knackered, which is very tired, and another meaning of knackered, which means broken or not working. Okay, my AirPods are knackered, so I will fix it tomorrow. Good. My AirPod, is it one AirPod or two AirPods? Are you talking about one of them? If it's one, my AirPod is knackered, or my AirPods are knackered. But good, Harry. I always get so knackered after hearing people discuss politics. Nice. I am knackered after working. I worked whole day and now I'm knackered. Great, guys. Excellent example sentences. I was so knackered after jogging. Good. Okay. Knackered. We've got it. We understand it. We can use it in a sentence. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is this one. It's actually a phrasal verb. Okay. So it's a phrasal verb, also a British slang term phrase, and it is splash out. Splash out. What could splash out mean? Have any of you heard this before? Splash out. Splash, we think of splash, it's like related to water. For example, if we like jump into water, then it makes like a splash with the water. But when it's used as a phrasal verb, splash out, it has a completely different meaning, okay? It's not related to that. Well done. Spend too much money, okay? Spend a lot of money. So, for example, I splashed out on an expensive dinner. I splashed out on an expensive dinner. And notice that we use the preposition on, okay? We splash out on something. Okay, so I splashed out on an expensive dinner. I splashed out on a new car. I splashed out on some new clothes at the weekend. We always use on, splash out on. And yes, it means to spend a lot of money and particularly on non-essential things. Okay, so you wouldn't say, for example, I splashed out on my rent or I splashed out on my bills. Okay, it's usually used to talk about something that's a bit of a treat. Okay, something that's not essential. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this thing, but you're doing it to treat yourself. It's not essential. Let's have a look at your example sentences. You've already started writing some great ones. Well done. I splashed out on. She splashed out on her daughter's birthday. Good. Good. I'm going to splash out on my new computer. Excellent. I splash out when I played poker. Yeah, good. Well done, guys. Have you splashed out on anything recently? Are these real example sentences or are these made up example sentences? I'm trying to think if I've splashed out on anything recently. I don't think I have. I haven't treated myself. I haven't splashed out on anything. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one, buzzin', buzzin'. You might see it with a G at the end too, but sometimes it's written like this without the G. Okay, buzzin', like a bee, buzzin'. What could this mean if you are buzzing? Ruben, you splashed out on your nails. Yeah, maybe. Buzzin', what could buzzin' mean? And nice example, Raphael. I'm not used to splashing out. I am a stingy person. Good. So stingy. If some of you don't know what stingy means, if you're stingy, you're someone who doesn't like to spend a lot of money. Okay, you don't like spending lots of money. It's kind of the opposite of splash out if you're stingy. Okay, buzzin'. I don't know if anybody has guessed the meaning of buzzin' yet. But let me show you an example sentence and see if it makes it easier for you to guess, okay? Here we go. I'm buzzing about getting a promotion at work. I'm buzzing about getting a promotion at work, okay? What could this mean if you're buzzing about a promotion? And guys, if you're just joining us now, this is a live session right now on British slang, okay? And don't worry if you've missed some of the lesson, you'll be able to watch all of it after the live lesson is over, okay? It'll be on the Canva YouTube channel for you to watch again as many times as you like. Confused? No? Okay, some of you have got it. Some of you have got it. It is excited and happy. Okay, so if you're buzzing, it's definitely a positive feeling. It's a good feeling to be excited and happy, to be buzzing. So guys, maybe you can make some example sentences and tell me what makes you feel buzzing, or what are you buzzing about? Okay, so what makes you feel happy, or what are you excited about? So use buzzing to make some example sentences. I'm very buzzing on getting a new job. If you did get a new job, congratulations. I'm buzzing on getting a new job. Nice. I'm buzzing that I can learn English with you. Well, I'm buzzing that you're all here learning English with me. Thank you very much for joining the live. I am buzzing about cryptocurrencies going up. Okay. I am buzzing about my results. Good. Really good example sentences. Well done. So instead of saying you're happy or you're excited, if you're talking to like a British speaker now, you can say I'm buzzing. And I'm sure they'll be really impressed that you know this slang word. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is sick. Now, we know this word already, okay? Sick. What does this usually mean? If you say, oh, I'm sick, like, I'm sick. We know what this means, okay? It means we're unwell. We don't feel good. But when we use it as a slang word or phrase, it can be used, it can have a couple of different meanings, okay? So there's two ways we can use it, and they're quite different. So let me give you some examples. So the first one, and let me cover that one. We can be sick of something, okay? You can say, I am sick of blah, blah, blah. For example, here, I'm sick of hearing that song on the radio. I'm sick of hearing that song on the radio. What does it mean in this example? To be sick of something, okay? Well done, Sharon. Excellent. Fed up. Exactly. Fed up, bored, okay? We don't like this thing anymore. We're fed up of it. We're bored of it. We're sick of it, okay? I'm sick of hearing that song on the radio. Excellent, guys. And the other meaning is quite different. So sick of something, bored, fed up. But if we say sick at something, this has another meaning. So my friend is sick at playing tennis. My friend is sick at playing tennis. What could this mean? So we're sick at something, not of something. Got a different meaning. What am I sick at? Let me think. I am. It's hard to think of something I'm sick at right now. When I was in school, I was sick at studying other languages. Okay. Sick at. I am sick at shopping. Okay, we've got a mixture here. Watch you don't get these two confused. I'm sick at exams. Good. Okay, if you're sick at something, it means you are really good at something, okay? You're sick at something, you're really good at it. You're really skilled at this thing. You're really talented at doing this particular thing. Okay, so watch the difference between sick of and sick at. So sick of means you're fed up or bored of something, and sick at means you're really good at something. So tell me now, guys, what are you sick at? What are you sick at? And what are you sick of? And watch out you don't get these two confused, because if you change the preposition from at to of, then it changes the meaning. So you need to be careful you don't get these ones confused. Harry, I am sick at Korean. Good. You can just say, I am sick at Korean. I am sick at studying Korean. Or I'm sick at the Korean language. Or because it is my first language. Yeah, I guess I could have said that. I'm sick at speaking English. I am sick at giving presentations. Good. Sick at cooking. Nice. Nice. What's your favorite thing to cook? Well done, guys. So, if you're sick at something, you're really good at it. If you're sick of something, you're fed up of it. You're bored of it. Okay, I think we've got it. Let's move on to the next one, which is dodgy. Okay, watch out for the pronunciation of this one. Dodgy. Dodgy. What could dodgy mean? Dodgy. Do you think it's a positive thing? If you describe a person or a thing as dodgy, is it good? Is it bad? What are we thinking? The example I've used here, I'm talking about a thing, not a person, okay? So you can describe a thing as dodgy, or you can describe a person as dodgy, or you can describe a place as dodgy, okay? So I've said, don't walk around the dodgy part of the city late at night. Don't walk around the dodgy part of the city late at night. So in this example, what does dodgy mean? Could it mean? You're right, guys. It's definitely a negative word. A negative word. Good. Let me hold it a bit closer for some of you. Sorry. Good. Shady. Good synonyms, guys. Shady, bad, high risk, dangerous, not good, weird. Okay, yeah. So here it means dangerous, unsafe, shady. Okay. Dodgy. It means dangerous, unsafe, shady. But if we describe a person as dodgy, if we say, the new neighbors seem a little bit dodgy, what could this mean? It's not unsafe. A very similar meaning. But obviously, we're describing a person. The new neighbors seem a little bit dodgy. What could that mean? Strange, weird, yeah, it's all these things. So strange, weird, also dishonest, okay? Dishonest, untrustworthy, a bit strange, okay? We wouldn't trust them. If we say someone is dodgy, we don't trust them. Good. Okay, so dodgy can have a couple of different meanings depending on if we're describing the person or a thing or a place. But overall, it's got a negative meaning, okay? It means unsafe, dangerous, untrustworthy, bit shady. Good. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is wonky. Wonky. I'm going to give you an example sentence. The sign was a bit wonky. We needed to straighten it. The sign was a bit wonky. What could this mean? If something is wonky, I think I've given you quite a good clue here in this example sentence. Let's see what you're saying. Good, perfect, entertainer, slant, good, Kinoko, not straight. Excellent. Okay, so if something is wonky, it's not straight. Okay, for example, if it's like this, you'd say, "Oh, Lizzie, you're holding the flashcard a little bit. It's a bit wonky. Okay, it's wonky. You need to straighten it. Okay, so wonky, not wonky, straight. Okay, crooked, good. Good synonym. Well done. So yeah, not straight or level, wonky. I'm trying to think of anything else you could say about wonky. Maybe like the table is a little bit wonky. We need to fix it. Good. Okay, next one is this one. Quid. Okay, quid. What is a quid? Anybody know? Has anybody heard this before? Maybe if you might have heard it, well, like any of these, you might have heard it in British TV programs or films, or maybe you've traveled to the UK, or maybe you live in the UK, and maybe you've heard some of these, especially this one. What is a quid? Not Squid Game, no. Quid. Good, it's currency, it's money, okay? It is British pounds, okay? So it's what we call British pounds. It's a slang way of saying pounds, okay? Money, pounds. For example, I borrowed 20 quid from my sister. I borrowed 20 quid from my sister. Guys, maybe you could tell me, what would you buy with if I gave you 1,000, that's not, well, if I gave you 1,000 quid right now and you can just buy something for 1,000 quid, what would you buy? What would you buy for 1,000 quid? Maybe that's hard if you don't know what a quid is in your currency, but yeah. What would you buy with lots of quid? What would I buy with 1,000 quid? I think I'd go on a holiday. I bought an iPhone for 1,000 quid. Wow, expensive iPhone. Cake. Buy cake with 1,000 quid. You could buy lots of cake with 1,000 quid. A lot of cake. Good. Nice examples, guys. Well done. Well done. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. Okay, this is a very common phrase in British slang. I hear people using this daily. To be honest with you, a lot of these are really common. Today I'm giving you very common phrases, okay? Very common words and phrases. There are so many slang words and phrases in any language. But I wanted to give you some of the more common ones, some of the more useful ones, the ones that you might actually come across and you'll be able to use them. So can't be bothered. If I say, oh, I can't be bothered, do you think it's a positive thing? A negative thing? How do I feel if I can't be bothered? I have an example sentence here. I can't be bothered cooking dinner during the week. I can't be bothered cooking dinner during the week. Good, everyone's saying negative. Yeah, it's got quite a negative meaning if you can't be bothered doing something. The word bother can be used in many different ways, okay? I feel like that's almost another whole lesson. Yeah, so I won't go into that today. But the word bother can be used in many different ways. A lot of you are saying it means don't disturb me. And that's true. If you say don't bother me, don't bother me. It's like don't disturb me, don't disrupt me, don't annoy me. But if you say I can't be bothered, this has a different meaning. I don't know if anybody's got it yet. Let's see. Oh, you've got some example sentences though. Good. I cannot be bothered to study Chinese language. Good, Kinoko. Close, yeah. I can't make an effort to do something. Okay, it means that you are feeling too tired or too lazy to do something. You don't want to make the effort to do something. Okay, so if you can't be bothered, for example, I can't be bothered going to work tomorrow. Or I can't be bothered going on a run in the morning. You're too lazy or you're too tired to do something. You don't want to do something. I can't be bothered studying mathematics every day. Sharon, great. Great example sentence. Good one. Well done. Okay. We have two more. And guys, if you have any questions, keep them in here, okay? Or write them down and you can ask me at the end. So the next one is gutted. Gutted. To feel gutted or to be gutted, okay? Gutted is a feeling. What kind of feeling do you think gutted is? What do you think? Here is an example sentence that might make it a little bit easier for you to guess. I was gutted about losing my favorite necklace. This actually did happen to me. I did lose my favorite necklace and I was gutted. I felt gutted. So do you think it's a positive thing or a negative thing? And what does it mean? Good, guys. Sad. Yeah. Sad. It means sad or disappointed, okay? Sad, upset, disappointed, if you feel gutted, okay? Have you guys felt gutted about anything recently? Can you make an example sentence with gutted? It means to feel very sad and disappointed about something. So what are you gutted about? I hope you're not gutted about too much. Okay. I felt gutted when my mum left me alone at home. Good example sentence. I'm sorry if you feel gutted though. I am gutted I can't go out because of the pandemic. Excellent. I am gutted I can't go out because of the pandemic. Good. And I am gutted because this class will end soon. Franklin, I am gutted because this class will end soon. I'm gutted too. But don't worry. So there's plenty more coming. Okay. Let's move on to the last one, okay? And then I've got some questions for you. I'm going to test you a little bit and yeah, see if you can remember some of them. The final one is this one here, which is miffed. Miffed. Okay, this is a feeling again, okay? To feel miffed or to be miffed. What do you think it means? For example, my friend was miffed at me for forgetting her birthday. My friend was miffed at me for forgetting her birthday. This isn't true. I didn't forget anyone's birthday. What could it mean? Sharon, miffed means angry. Yeah, okay, so it means annoyed or angry. So if you're miffed at someone, or you can be miffed about something, okay, miffed about something or miffed at someone, it means you're angry or annoyed at that person or that thing. So what makes you feel miffed? What things make you feel miffed? What situations make you feel miffed, angry, or annoyed? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, in the chat. Okay. And what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to test you on some of these, see which ones you can remember. Okay. If you're just joining us now, this is a live lesson today on British slang. And don't worry if you've missed the lesson up till now. I've just given definitions and example sentences of all of these slang words and phrases, but you'll be able to watch it back afterwards. Okay, so don't worry. And I hope some of you are going to be able to use these. I hope some of these are useful for you. You'll be able to use these when you're speaking to British speakers, okay? Or if you go on holidays or you travel to the UK, then you'll be able to use some of these. That'd be great. What I would say when you're learning new vocabulary, it's great to just take down the ones that you think are the most useful to you and the ones that you think are related to you, that you're more likely to use. If we try to remember too many new words or phrases at once, sometimes it's really hard. I mean, everyone's different, but I personally think it's very hard to retain the information, to remember them. So I always say to my students, a good thing to do is just learn, take note of, learn, revise, study the ones that you think you're most likely to use in your vocabulary because you like them or because it's something that you think you would say a lot because you feel like that a lot or you're in that sort of situation a lot, okay? So maybe just take note of the ones that are the most useful to you, you think will be the most useful to you. Let's have a look at your example sentences with miffed. My sister felt miffed when I forgot her wedding. I'm miffed when I forget to drink a protein shake after workout. Okay. My friend is miffed about being snowed under. Okay, Lizzie. Oh, you have the same name as me, Lizzie. My friend is miffed about being snowed under at work. Okay, make sure you use snowed under. Snowed under is to be really busy, for those of you who don't know that one. My mother felt miffed when I ignored her. Good. Good. Well done. Okay. Are you ready to do a little test? Okay, do a little quiz. I want to see if you guys remember what these mean. So I've just got a few multiple choice questions, and you just need to fill in the correct word. I hope it's not going to be too easy for you. I feel like you guys have picked this up really, really well because you've all written some great example sentences. Okay, let's go. The first one. I used to be at playing piano. I used to be at playing piano. What did I used to be? I used to be sick at playing piano. I used to be gutted at playing piano. Or I used to be wonky at playing piano. Well done. You've all answered so fast. The answer is A, sick. Okay, sick. I used to be sick at playing piano. Remember, sick at something means we're good at something, and sick of something means we're bored of it and we don't like it anymore. Great, guys. Well done, everyone, answering A. Okay, next one. I'm so blank at the moment. I haven't been sleeping well. Okay, I'm so blank at the moment. I haven't been sleeping well. What am I? I'm so gutted. To be fair. Anyway, I'm so knackered. I'm so miffed. To be fair, all of these make sense. You could, I guess, use all of these, but there's one that makes the most sense, okay? There's one that's the most logical, okay? It's to do with not sleeping well. Everybody answering B, knackered, you are correct. Well done. I'm so knackered at the moment. I haven't been sleeping well. Excellent. Okay, couple more. This one. I'm so blank for the party tonight. How am I feeling about the party tonight? I'm so buzzing. I'm so sick. I'm so gutted. Do you think it's going to be a positive thing or a negative thing? Well done, guys. A, buzzing. I'm so buzzing for the party tonight. Remember, buzzing means excited or happy. Buzzing for the party. I'm excited for the party. Good. Okay, and the final one here. I've never trusted him. He seems a bit wonky. He seems a bit sick. Or he seems a bit dodgy. A, B, or C? What do you think? Great, guys. This is far too easy for you. He seems a bit dodgy, okay? Untrustworthy, bit strange, shady, okay? Good. Well done, guys. Well done. Seems a bit dodgy. Okay. And I've loved all your example sentences. They've been great, guys. Well done. If you like as well, maybe now you can tell me a slang word in your language and what it means, okay? Make sure you keep it appropriate and polite, okay? Nothing rude, but if you have a slang word or phrase in your language, in your native language, and you can tell us its meaning if you like, okay? Maybe you have some that mean similar things to these ones. And also, guys, if you want to ask any questions, if you have any questions about any of these words or any other British slang words that maybe you've come across and you don't really understand how to use them or what they mean, then go ahead now and ask some questions, and I will try to answer your questions as best as I can. Attila, quid or quids? Okay, so we always say quid, whether it's one or whether it's more, okay? So we say £1 and then we say £2, £3, £4, okay? This becomes plural. But with quid, it's always quid, okay? It's never quids. So 1 quid, 2 quid, 3 quid, 100 quid. Okay, it never has an S at the end. Great question. Thanks, Attila. Let's see. Can you please repeat the meaning of knackered? Guys, can you answer this question for Shantaj? What does knackered mean? What does knackered mean? Write in the chat, what does knackered mean? And guys, remember, if you did miss any of this, me giving the example sentences and things, it's fine because you'll be able to watch it again afterwards. Okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah, tired. Very tired. Okay. If you're knackered, you're very tired. Great, guys. Well done. Okay. Any other questions? Shalina, it's necessary to understand and use English slang in our daily life. It's a difficult one. As I said at the beginning, it's hard because slang is different depending on, firstly, the country. We have some different slang words and phrases in different countries. And secondly, and you probably know this in your country too, if you have slang words in your country, in your language, it depends sometimes even on the city and the region. So, for example, I can only speak for the United Kingdom because that's where I'm from. But if I speak to a friend who lives in a different part of the United Kingdom, we know some of the same slang words, but then I might also have some that are more commonly used in my area where I live, and they'll have some that are more commonly used in their area where they live. So that's why studying slang is very interesting and fun as well. What I would say is, I don't think it's absolutely essential. If you don't know slang, it doesn't mean you're going to be unable to communicate. You don't have to use slang, but it's quite useful to be aware of slang, aware of some different slang words and phrases, because as I said before, native English speakers will use slang quite a lot when they're speaking, okay? So it's useful to be aware of some of the meanings of some of the words so that you're not so confused, okay? But if you're ever talking to a native English speaker and they use a slang word and you don't know what it means, then just ask them, okay? Ask them to explain, because then you're going to learn more. Okay. I'm just having a look at your questions. Sorry if I've missed some of these. Let me just go up. Okay, some of you want me to explain some more words again. Guys, if you missed any of the examples or definitions, don't worry, you can watch this back afterwards, so very soon. Okay. Sharon, our slang, okay, slang is singular, okay, so not our slangs. We say is slang, okay. Is slang appropriate to use with teachers? That's a really interesting question. For me personally, as an English teacher, if I encourage my students to speak naturally and use vocabulary that they would use in their own language and try and speak how they would normally speak in their native language. And for me, if students use slang words, I quite like it. I think it's great because I use slang all the time. So for me, it sounds very natural. But yeah, it is an interesting one because slang can also get quite a bad reputation. People can think it's very informal and it's not polite enough. So it's a difficult one. I think it can depend on who you're speaking to. It can depend on the teacher. For me personally, for a lot of other teachers I know, if their students use slang, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, if anything, they're like, oh, that's great that you know that word, that you've managed to study and learn a slang word, um, rather than just using, formal vocabulary from a textbook. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question a little bit. Harry, I am cheesed off. Is it British slang too? Yeah, I think so. I mean, you might get this one in America as well. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but yeah, you would hear this in the UK too. So I'm cheesed off. To be cheesed off means to be annoyed. I guess it's kind of like miffed. Okay, cheesed off, miffed, annoyed. Okay, well done, guys. I don't think I'm going to have time to answer any more questions. As I said before, if you've missed any of this lesson, don't worry, you can watch it back. Thank you very much for joining today. I've really enjoyed teaching you some British slang. I hope it's been useful for you. And I hope you've learned some new words. I hope you're going to use some of them. Feel free when this video is posted to the YouTube channel after this live lesson is over, feel free to leave some comments with some example sentences, okay, using these slang words. That might be a good task for you. A great way to learn new vocabulary is to write example sentences and then try and use it in real life context, okay? That really gets it stuck in your head, okay? So you remember it more easily. Okay, and guys, if you don't already use Cambly, okay, you're all here, you're watching this lesson, that's great. But if you don't use Cambly, you don't take lessons on Cambly, but you would like to, then I have a code that you can use to get up to 36% off, okay? And the code is Go Live. That is not very clear. Is that better? Go Live. Okay, so you can use this code, get some money off a Cambly subscription, save yourself some money. And I really, really recommend using Cambly. You can speak to native speakers from different countries. What's great about that is if you're interested in learning slang, you can maybe call a British tutor and learn some British slang one day, and then maybe the next day or the next lesson, you can call an Australian teacher, learn some Australian slang, and then call an American teacher and learn American slang, and then you'll know more slang than me. You'll know slang from all different countries. So that's the great thing about Cambly. There's tutors from all over the world, and yeah, you can learn from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just use any device that you like. And I am a teacher on Cambly. If you would like to study a lesson with me, there will be a link below this video where you can have a look at my schedule and book a lesson with me. Send me a message, say hi. We can talk about some more British slang if you want, or anything else that you like. Okay, I hope that this lesson was useful. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and yeah, try and leave some comments with some example sentences and we'll have a little look at them for you. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.